Regardless of what type of work you do and what type of person you are, you may have issues with time management. After all, there are only 24 hours in a day. How is it that people get anything done? An entrepreneur knows this by heart. They know that there are a finite number of hours in a day and that there should only be 5 days in a working week. But somehow they end up working more hours than usual, giving up sleep, family contact, and even leisure time. Now, you may think that this is part of getting a business off the ground, that sleepless nights and a lack of social contact are to be expected. You have a to-do list the size of the Grand Canyon, but it also looks like you seem to be falling further and further behind. Entrepreneurs are unique in time management because they deal with unique challenges. They also may have multiple priorities, just like anyone who holds down a job. But the most difficult challenge for most small home-based entrepreneurs is really being the only one person that you can rely on. If you're starting a new business, you know this by heart. You are the delivery person, the customer service representative, the CEO, and the janitor all at once. Take Anna, for example. Now, she works from home as a freelancer. She tells herself she can work 8 hours a day easy. Because she works from home, she saves on overheads and gas money. She can easily get a week's worth of work done in a day. Her unique challenge is distraction. Why? Well, because she works from home, she can easily get up and flop down on the couch to watch TV, wasting valuable time. She may have chores to do, errands to run, and bills to pay. She ends up working only 2 or 3 hours a day, and sometimes her work pile is higher than her laundry pile. Then there's Jim. Now, he's in a similar situation. He started a successful online software company from home, and he makes a good living from his technical advice blog. He set up a small home office in his living room. His wife works full-time, and he also has the role of taking care of their 3-year-old son. Half his day is spent with his kid, and he doesn't mind it, but it does mean taking time away from the work he should be doing. People who work 9-to-5 jobs also have similar time management challenges. The main challenge entrepreneurs have is that they don't have a boss to kick them in the face when they mess up. They're their own bosses. They own the business, and they're responsible for everything. Stay-at-home and work-from-home businesses are especially vulnerable to this because there's no boundary between work and home. Okay, let's look at what time management is. Now, does this sound like you? I can never get enough time to finish what I'm doing in a day. I've so many things to do that I get confused. I could be working out, but I just don't have the time. I got held up, so I never got to finish that proposal on time. I'd love to start my dream business, but I just don't have the time. A normal person's day is broken down into segments. You need to get to work by a certain time, get to the bank within a specified set of operating hours, go to the supermarket, fetch your kids from school, and so on. Depending on the type of business you own, you may need to speak with clients. You may need to set up meetings, finish products, ship them out, and so on. Entrepreneurs fulfill a lot of roles in their businesses, and it's very easy to let one task overwhelm the others. You need to manage your time in order to get maximum returns from your mini investments during the day. Now, these are the minor things that you do during the day that add up and give you a sense of accomplishment. Managing your time is also important because it allows you to prioritize what you need to do. Time management has also been proven to reduce stress. People tend to get stressed when they feel like they have no control over their surroundings. It's a biological reaction that causes psychological and physiological reactions in the body. These symptoms can be minor, like nail biting, or major, like a heart attack. Stress, lack of exercise, and bad diets can all contribute to a killer heart attack later in life. Knowing what tasks you'll be doing for the day and controlling your time can reduce the amounts of stress that you experience on a day-to-day basis. Using simple techniques can bring you to a point where the stress is easily managed. It can also increase your productivity and give a sense of balance to your life. You'll realize the impact of time management almost immediately by how relaxed you're feeling and how easily you're running things. Time management can simply be defined as the process of controlling time. It usually involves setting or planning periods of activity over a set period. Now, this time period can be as short as the next 2 hours or the next few years. Time management skills are so important that companies and businesses train their employees on how to become more efficient at managing their time. Thousands of dollars are spent to hire management experts to run seminars about managing time efficiently. The first thing that you have to remember is that time management is a skill and that skills can be learned. It's a trainable skill that you may not only want to possess, but something that you may want potential employees or managers to possess too. Now, have you ever tried learning a new skill? Well, it can be difficult and challenging at first, but once you have it down, it can become as automatic as breathing. The challenge is getting the skill, and this involves getting rid of old habits and putting new ones in their places. It involves recognizing what works and what doesn't. Imagine that you've decided to take up a form of dancing, say ballroom or salsa. If you've never been to a dance class before, you'll probably be nervous. You'll enter the class thinking, I can't do this. You'll see people warming up, stretching, and maybe even dancing a little. You see your instructor and you clutch your gym bag and think thoughts like, I should just go and get a cup of coffee. Now, let's say you decide to try the first class. Well, you're going to flounder about, you're going to make mistakes, and you're generally going to be the clumsiest in your class. You don't know anything about timing. You forget the steps and maybe even make a fool of yourself. The class ends, you take a shower, and you go home. Well, two things are going to happen here. The first is that you'll decide never to go to another dance class. And the other is that you'll go back next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and so on. Now, if you decide never to return, then you'll never learn the skill. If you go back next week and the week after that, you'll notice a change. Your muscles will learn the movements, and this is called muscle memory. Soon you'll find that you're in sync with the rest of the class. You remember steps because your body remembers them. You'll slowly learn the skill of dancing. And this can be applied to any learned skill. Driving, for example. Playing video games or going to the gym. You have to form the habit and let your body learn the skill for you. If you decided never to go back to that dance class or ever sit behind the wheel of a car again, the skill would never materialize. And the same thing goes for time management. If you try it and keep at it, the skill will become ingrained. Another thing that you have to consider when it comes to time management is letting go of formerly destructive habits. In an age where information and technology are undeniably linked, people are constantly wading through waves of knowledge that in the end are quite useless. Breaking bad time habits can be as difficult as creating new habits. First, you have to recognize how harmful these habits actually are and then take the steps to breaking them. Recognizing harmful time habits can be difficult simply because of their routine nature. Okay, we've talked about what time management is. Now let's talk about what time management is not. Time management, like other management strategies, is a how-to guide to form economical and resourceful ways of dealing with everyday occurrences in a business or entrepreneurial setting. It is not the answer to everything, and it's not something that's going to magically happen without your consent. Time management doesn't happen overnight. It can be learned, but a student of time management must find out how to use the techniques in their own way. Time management is meant to help you, not box you in. The trick is not to let time control you or get away from you, but to put a definitive process on how you use your time. In any business, the main goal of time management is to increase productivity. In the 1900s, Henry Ford perfected the assembly line. The need for mass-produced cars rendered handcrafted machinery useless. The demand was so great that they needed to churn out hundreds of cars. Parts were assembled by hand by workers standing in a line. Each worker was assigned a single part of the engine, the interior or exterior of the car. Assembly was timed down to the last second. All Mr. Ford needed were people who had two hands and could work at a set pace. Ford's assembly line is a great example of managing time, in the sense that it broke the process down and sped up production to the point where they were producing one car every 3 minutes. Now, the point of time management is not to turn you into a human automaton, but a method that one can use to construct time and turn it into something that works for you. Mr. Ford solved his time issue by creating a human conveyor belt, by breaking down the process into simple timed tasks. You must also think of time management as a system and a tool, not the be-all and end-all. Time management also has the risk of turning into a bad habit in itself. If you've ever spent an hour creating a to-do list and the rest of the day fine-tuning it, then you know a little bit of the dangers of over-managing your time. Time management is not just a way to construct time at work or in a business setting. For the entrepreneur, time management can be looked upon as a lifestyle change. It's one way to analyze and control the business that you're beginning. It's also a method to create organization for something that may initially be disorganized. Different definitions of time management not only include day-to-day planning, but also project planning, something that can be easily applied to a business plan to help you keep track of goals and achievements. Time management can be applied to different aspects of life, not just the business end of it. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can recognize bad time management habits.